watching 7 River Sports here on KQEG. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and into fitness. Well, this week, the spotlight shines on the Wieser family. And I'm going to tell you why the spotlight is on that family throughout the show. A quality family full of athletes, full of just substance, and just a great family. This week, we talk about high school soccer in the area. My guests, Nicholas, a Lancer, Simon, a Blue Gold, and JB, also a Blue Gold from Aquinas. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
My really interest in having you on the show grew from an article that was in the paper in late September, which we're going to talk about a little bit. But that's when it was like, how many times has that ever happened where brothers, they go to different schools, play against one of the other brothers in a high school competitive game? That was an incredible article. But before we get to that, I mentioned that you come from a family of athletes, and certainly athletes in their journey to go to high school and become successful start at an early age when they're introduced to various sports. Go back down the yellow brick road, Nicholas, to when you were introduced to sports.
I first started out playing hockey. I started when I was 2.5, I think. So I've been playing hockey for, it's going to be my 14th year playing hockey. And then kind of just grew into anything that you can play, you know. Tried out everything, played soccer, basketball, baseball, t-ball.
So what's interesting too, Simon, you were introduced when you were young too, but your parents, who I know very well, and your grandparents, they give you the opportunities. They don't push you, but they encourage you. And now Simon, a freshman, Nicholas, a junior, and JB, a senior. Go back down to some of the memorable times when you were introduced to sports, Simon.
Yeah, I would say I play hockey too with Nick, and I would say very memorable moments would be, we went to regionals actually with Nick too one year, and that was just a lot of fun. Along with baseball, we went to a Shook You Think tournament down in Iowa. We played for Hokobo, and we won that tournament, and that was really special.
Yeah, that's one of your defining moments when you're young. I coached for years against Shooky Fink. It was Shooky Fink's team out of New Albany, Iowa, versus the Boys and Girls Club of lacrosse. So I went head-to-head with Shooky Fink many times and have gone down there and played too, and he passed away a few years ago. But I have fond memories of him and what he did for New Albany baseball. The senior, JB, who was kind of the spokesperson, you got started at an early age too. In fact, I used to watch you play because I know your dad pretty well, and you were a very successful athlete when you were young.
Yeah, when I was 3, I think that's when we started playing pee-wee soccer when we were little twerps, and I always started being competitive even back then, and I've played basketball, I've ran track, I'd played football for a long time. I mean, if you name a sport, I probably played it at some point.
Any sport, any defining things that kind of stood out that you kind of gravitated toward and made one of those sports your favorite?
I mean, it not really, because it just depended on what season I was playing. Because what I would always tell my mom was whenever a sport was in season, that's my favorite sport. So last year during golf, or before that when I ran track, those were my favorite sports. I always wanted a future in that sport, and then it became basketball, and then became football, and then eventually soccer. So it just all depends on the season.
So I know you grew up going to Crucifixion grade school and Crucifixion church, and growing up in the Crescent, and obviously your parents, Nicholas, you're a Lancer, Simon and JB, you're a Blue Gold. So your parents gave you the option as to where you wanted to go to school. Talk about that, Nicholas.
Yeah, the options from our grandparents actually gave us the option, and just basically friends, like whose friends went where. Most of my friends went to the Crescent from Crucifixion or St. Peter's, So that's kind of where I gravitated towards.
And you had the choice too, didn't you, Simon? You could have went either way.
Yep. Same with Nick, with friends. Friends are always a big part, and also just following the faith and doing everything I can.
And JB, I know you were not sure where you wanted to go, but you made, in your terms of what you've accomplished, you made the right decision.
Yeah, I would definitely agree on that. And my older sister Ashley, is one of the reasons why I went to Aquinas, was because she would be able to take me. That was only one of my fears, was like, how was I going to get over there? But she would take me, and she kind of just like showed me the ropes, and it was awesome. And my friends, a lot of my friends from grade school went there, so it just felt like a perfect fit.
Again, I guess this week, the Wieser brothers, Nicholas, Simon, and JB. As we tape the show here on Monday, October 28th, Aquinas just getting ready to leave this afternoon for the sectionals in Arcadia, and you're 12, 5, and 4. And JB, you are a goalie. What are we going to see for the rest of the way? You go to sectionals and then hopefully go to state.
Well, no matter what happens, it's just I'm going to be playing my heart out, because my last year playing soccer, and I've enjoyed every moment. So I just going all out, having fun with my team, and just enjoying every moment. Like
You're a leader too, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I like.
Share your leadership qualities with our viewers.
It's mostly just like when our defense gets a little out of position, I would yell at them to like get back. So more of a vocal leader, but I also sometimes tend to like get like group gatherings, like we go bowling occasionally on weekends, like just a group of soccer players.
Bonding.
Yeah, bonding moments, and just kind of being the ringleader for those.
So what about little brother? Kind of educating him, helping him find his way. So Simon, you got a big brother here who's the leader of that team. Is that inspiring to you?
Yeah, that was really special for me. Being a freshman and making varsity and getting to play with my brother in soccer, that was really special.
So that just kind of tells our viewers your skills, because not many freshmen get elevated to the varsity.
Yeah.
Have you had a good season?
Yeah, I've had a pretty good season. I have 1 goal against Caledonia, and then I think I had 2 assists against Driftless United in the beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah. And unfortunately, Nicholas, you guys aren't playing anymore. The Lancers are done with their year, but you did have a good year.
Yeah, we did. We made it to playoffs. Did pretty well. First game we beat Cal in overtime. It was a pretty crazy game. We tied it with less than 3 minutes left, and then scored with 7 minutes left in overtime. And then we lost, sadly, to Dover with 2 minutes left in the game, 1-0. But we played really well all season, and it was just hard to finish scoring.
I know your coach speaks highly of you, and of course you're only a junior, so the best is yet to come. What about other sports at La Crescent?
I play football. I'm the kicker on the football team, and then I play hockey and baseball.
So kicker, you go to practice a couple days a week, and you have soccer. I mean, I see other athletes that do that in smaller schools too. Is that hard to juggle that?
Yeah, sometimes there's weeks where I don't make it to practice, or I can come to practice 3 days out of the week. But it's just show up to practice usually Thursday before the Friday game, and we run through special teams, and that's about it for football.
Speaking of kicking, there's a guy at Aquinas. We're covering their game Friday night and hopefully beyond, who kicks it out of the end zone almost every time when he kicks off. His name, he was on the show here, by the way, and he's a close friend, Jackson Flotmeyer. He has the kind of skills, punt, kick, a lot of other skills, including leadership and being quarterback. He could play soccer too.
I think he could, yeah, for sure.
Ever talk to him about that?
No, not really, but I should definitely try and get him to play next.
He's
both,
a junior.
Both next year.
He can play both, but I don't know if the football coach wants to see that. You're all 3 leaders because you come from a family of leaders. And it's a special culture, no question about it. And Nicholas, you are, years ago when I was a student athlete, I was involved with Fellowship of Christian Athletes, decades ago. You are involved in it now.
Yeah. I love FCA. It's a great group of people at my school. It's a small, really small group, but we all just share a passion for sports and Christ, and it just brings us together. We actually had a meeting this morning, and
Before school then?
yeah, so we have it during our flex time, and then we just pray and talk about Christ, and then talk about ways to be a Christian leader in our sports that we play for
And-
others.
Yes, and Simon, a freshman, your leadership has taken you to Boy Scouts. You've learned some leadership skills there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we are given like a special role. We have to play in the troop, and that's definitely taught me a whole lot about leadership.
And JB, LEFC Youth Group, of course, through your church, it's been part of who you are.
So we are part of the Crucifixion Parish for our church, and we have a youth group, LEFC, the Crescent Evangelical Free Church, which is just a Christian church that we go to because our friends went there, like go there. A lot of our friends go there for youth group, and so we ended up going there a lot and just like hanging out with them and like the youth pastor and talking about Christ and getting closer with God.
Has that changed your life?
Oh, for sure. Definitely for the better. Like we've gone on mission trips, and those are just
Where have you
absolute
gone?
blast. We went up to Rochester in a mobile home park called Oak Terrace, with a lot of migrant workers that work there. And so we just give them a little, like a VBS type, like Vacation Bible School type day, just like fun and games and learning about Jesus, teaching the little ones.
Opens
It's
up
awesome.
your perception of the world and how other people live. and
Yeah.
so on. That's part of the benefits of being in leadership as well. We're going to step aside just for a minute for a halftime break. We come back more here on Crescent.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company, serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to this special edition of 7 River Sports with the Wieser brothers from La Crescent. Nicholas, Simon, and next to me, JB. Well, I talked to your coach this morning from Aquinas, JB and Simon, and he was excited to have you on the show, both of you, and here's what he said. JB brings every day a great deal of consistency. He says, Ryan Capwell, throughout the entire year, I cannot think of a goal where I say JB usually makes the save. He always makes the save, and I can trust him, and not only to lead the team, but to assist in making Simon a better player too. What do you think of that?
It feels right. I mean, I just try and lead Simon and help him get better, and everyone else on the team, and just doing whatever I can to help the team, and that's just stopping the ball from getting in the goal.
And you've done well with that, and you've saved 84% of the kicks.
Yeah.
That's pretty remarkable. Simon, Coach Capwell speaks highly of you too, and is glad that you are a Blue Gold.
Yeah, Yeah, I've heard.
That's pretty complimentary.
Yeah, that's very nice of him.
Is that emotional for you?
Yeah, he's great. He's a good coach, and it's just really special for me.
Your coaching staff and your teammates speak highly of you, too. Even though you're a Lancer. That's just a joke because these guys are Blue Goals. You bring a lot to your program, too.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily get the starting position this year. We had another goalie that's been playing longer and a little bit better. But I just was always there and cheering on my teammates the most I can and trying to bring everybody else up and always keep positive energy on the field and on the bench because that's where everything comes from.
All of us have people that have inspired us along the way. There's enough people that have inspired me that would fill the lacrosse center, and I am appreciative of that. Years ago, I coached a guy by the name of Michael Wieser. He played for me for many years. I followed him after he left the Crescent and then passed away a few years ago. Terrible loss to the Cooley region. And it's interesting because all three of you indicate that a role model and inspiration in your life was Michael Wieser. Nicholas, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, it's obviously didn't know him very well because passed away when we were very young. But my first memory I ever remember is him carrying me around on his shoulders at a family reunion, and he always just loved being with us and anybody. He always was the nice guy. You always hear stories from his teammates or his opponents. He was always bringing everybody else up, always played hard, and after the game, he was buddies with everybody else.
Simon, you probably didn't know Mike Lee as well. You didn't probably know him perhaps at all, but I can tell you that what Nicholas said was absolutely correct, and he leaves quite a legacy.
Yeah. I just remember hearing stories and seeing pictures of him, and he's always happy and he's always smiling, and he's such a good guy, and he was just a great athlete, too.
And you feel the same way, I'm sure. But I know your grandpa and grandma very well, and they inspire you along with Michael.
Yeah, a lot, especially because they always have put themselves like in the passenger seat and everyone else in the driver's seat. They put everyone else first. Like, I mean, they adopted 12 people that were all in tough positions in their lives. So that's just very remarkable they were able to do that.
Big supporters of the Boys and Girls Club. They're in the Wall of Fame. And Simon, this really intrigues me. A quote that you really like is my mother, Diego Maradona, said this. My mother thinks that I'm the best, and I was raised to always believe that my mother is right. Everything she tells me. It's like, I've never seen that quote before.
Yeah, he's just a great guy and a great soccer player, and I just read that quote, and I know my mom would just say the same, because that would be really funny of her, because she would definitely say the same.
Oh, I don't know if your brother's like that, too, and your older sibling. I don't know, but JB, his favorite saying is this. You can't change the people around you, so change the people around you. It's like, really? How do you do that?
It's just like if you're like in a bad spot and your friends aren't always there for you, then maybe it's time to just find new friends, or maybe you can change them, like change them as be a better person.
Don't give up on them, in other words.
Yeah.
Exactly. We can't leave Nicholas out of this discussion, because Nicholas's favorite saying is learn to love to fail, accept failure, because failure is the best opportunity to grow. Have you ever failed?
All the time, actually. I love failing. I lift all the time, and I love, you don't get that weight, so then you come back the next day, you go harder, and you just keep working at it, because failure is what makes success feel better.
But you guys are full of substance, you know that? You must be part of the Wieser family, because that's what they are. Let's go back to that article in September that I referenced in the first half of the show. Aquinas versus Crescent. It's like the two blue goals versus their brother, a Lancer. Take us through that real quickly, would you, JB?
I mean, it was one of the craziest experiences of my career for sure. Because leading up to it, we've kind of just joking around, being like, "Oh, we're gonna beat you," and then he'd come back and like, "Oh, we're gonna beat you," and just a little competitive, but nothing over the top or anything.
Was it emotional?
Oh, for sure. Like I would try and cheer whenever we scored. I would be like cheering, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's my brother. I feel bad." But at the same time, we're winning and he's losing, so I felt a little better.
What was the final score?
We won 5-2.
Okay. And did you have any apprehension, Simon? Like those are your buddies over there in the other colored uniforms.
Yeah, I've played with those guys. Friends with those guys. It was really fun to play against them because like I know them and I like talk to them, and it's really fun to play with those guys and against those guys.
Nicholas, what was your reaction when you saw the scoreboard and the game's over with and it's Blue Goals 5 and Lancers 2? It's like, do I have to go over and embrace my brothers?
Yeah, obviously it was a tough loss, but you know, they work harder a little bit for soccer, and I know JB's worked really hard. He had a tough season last year, missed a lot of shots, helped him get a lot better. So I just hope that I can work harder now to get better.
Philosophy of life for Nicholas. I know you're young. A lot of people like philosophy of life. I'm too young to develop that. What's yours?
Just, you know, like I said earlier, learn to fail, you know, love that, and I don't know, just be better is what I like to say.
Yeah, and you are getting better, and take one step at a time, says Simon. Focus on the future. Don't worry about the past. You've had a good past, though, too, haven't you? And a bright future.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like you can't focus on what you did wrong. You got to pick your head up and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, and you have done that. Faith, family, and everything else comes after that.
Yeah, it's mostly just putting God and like your faith in God, or whatever your faith is in, and then that's like number one, and then number two will be your family, and that comes with a big responsibility, and then everything else comes afterwards, like sports, school, anything else comes afterwards.
Here's something our viewers may not know about JB. He has a massive card collection from my Uncle Mike and another friend of the family. So hopefully you have that hidden away from guests and family so it stays safe. What's your favorite card?
I have a Michael Jordan Finals card. It's kind of cool. But my Uncle Mike was obsessed with Grant Hill and has a ton of signed Grant Hill rookie cards.
I've always liked Grant Hill too.
Yeah.
And of course I continue to see him as a broadcaster.
Yeah.
And going into the future, let's take, you're a senior. What's the next step for JB?
Not 100% right now, but I plan on going to North Dakota State, where my Uncle Mike went, and I would love to play soccer there as well.
Nicholas? Going to be a senior?
I'm looking into aviation technical operations. I want to be a pilot, and just also have taken a passion in my Spanish class, so I would like to minor in Spanish, and then, you know, fly to Spanish-speaking countries and explore the world.
You're too young to think much about your future, aren't you, Simon? You got a long ways to go, but have you sometimes sit and dream about, like, this is what I want to do someday?
I don't know. I've just had a lot of thought about different things. Like, I've changed moods, like, from time to time about what I want to do. So I'm not 100% sure. I just know that I want to finish my high school career with good grades and see where that takes me.
And you do have good grades, because you're all students first and athletes second, right?
Yes, sir.
I've looked forward to this interview with the Wieser brothers from a great family, Nicholas, Simon, and JB next to me. So it's been a pleasure, and I hope you've enjoyed it. So thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 five-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Well, Rick and I were at Roger Herring Field on Friday for Level 3 of the football postseason as the Blue Ghosts would entertain St. Croix Falls in Division 5. The Blue Ghosts showcased their offense in the first half, taking a 24-6 lead into the break. Joe Pankey, Quinn Muskowski, and Jackson Flopmeyer provided the first half points. St. Croix Falls quarterback Brady Belil scored the only Saints touchdown. In the second half, 2 TDs for the Blue Ghosts, both by player of the game Calvin Hargrove on runs of 1 and 20 yards. Brady Belil to Bryn Goker for the final Saints touchdown. The Blue Ghosts defense took center stage, holding one of the state's top running backs, Dio Oye, to only 120 yards and no touchdowns. Damian Lee and Pearson Feehan had interceptions, and defensive back Paulie Reutemann recovered a fumble. Calvin Hargrove, 153 yards and 3 touchdowns. Joe Pankey, 104 yards and 1 touchdown. Quinn Muskowski, 4 catches, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Blue Ghosts advanced to Division 5 semifinals on Friday versus Wittenberg-Burnham Wood at Wisconsin Rapids at 7 p.m. And we'll be there to cover that game. Final, from Roger Herring Stadium, Blue Ghosts 38, St. Croix Falls Saints 14. Well, that does it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy week ahead.